Hello, in this video we are going to see about this dynamic programming paradigm. So dynamic programming is a general algorithm design technique for solving the problems defined by recurrences with overlapping subproblems. And this is invented by an American mathematician Richard Bellman in 1950s to solve the optimization problems. Here programming actually means planning. So the main idea is to set up a recurrence relation to a larger instance to solutions of some smaller instances. So it relates. So when we have the recurrence relation for smaller instances, that can be related to the larger instance also. So first we'll solve the smaller instances once. The solutions for that will be recorded in a table, and that solutions can be extracted to the initial instance from that table. So before going into dynamic programming, we have some other paradigms or some other programming design techniques which we have already studied, like divide and conquer. But then why do we need the dynamic programming? So what is the difference between this divide and conquer and dynamic programming, and how dynamic programming is advantageous over this divide and conquer? Divide and conquer method, here in this thing, the problem is divided into disjoint subproblems. If the size of the input is very large, then we can divide the problem into two or more subproblems which are totally disjoint, and then conquer recursively to solve the subproblems. To each subproblem is conquered separately, and then we combine the solutions, take the solutions to the subproblems and merge these solutions into a solution for the original problem. So if we take the example of merge sort, so the given input is divided into initially two subproblems, then each subproblem is again divided into two, and it keeps going till till it cannot be divided anymore with only one element in the subproblem. So then recursively these subproblems were called, and the solutions were finally combined. So this dynamic programming, it is a way of improving the inefficient divide and conquer algorithms. So why we say inefficient is that the same recursive call is made again and again, and if the subproblem is repeated several times, we are again and again calling the recursive call for that same subproblem and repeatedly solving that again and again. So whereas this dynamic programming is applicable when the subproblems are dependent, and if the subproblems share some of the subproblems. So here in dynamic programming, we can also say the programming refers to a tabular method. So what is the difference between this dynamic programming and divide and conquer? Here in divide and conquer, the common subproblems have to be solved many times. Though the results may be same, the subproblem is same, we are solving it or recursively calling it again and again and solving the same problem many times. Whereas in dynamic programming, we will solve each of them once, and their answers will be stored in a table for future use. So here we can see some more differences. So the divide and conquer, it partitioned the problem into independent smaller subproblems, whereas here in dynamic programming, it partitions the problem into overlapping subproblems. That is, each subproblem is dependent on the other subproblem. And here it doesn't store the solutions of the subproblems. So even if identical subproblems arises, we do not know, and we keep on doing the same thing again, and the results were not stored anywhere. But whereas in dynamic programming, it stores the solutions of the subproblems. So whenever that same subproblem occurs again, we need not calculate it again, and we can use the same solution what we have calculated earlier. And this divide and conquer is a top-down algorithm which progresses from the initial instance down to the smallest sub-instance. So that is starting from the larger problem to the smaller instance. But here it is in dynamic programming, it is a bottom up algorithm where we start from the smallest subproblem. So the smallest subproblem is solved first and the results were stored, and further as we progress for larger subinstances, whenever this wherever the results of this smaller instances are needed, there we can use it directly. So the elements of the dynamic programming. So this dynamic programming is used to solve the problems with the following characteristics. So if the sub-problems were very simple, so if the original problem can be broken down into smaller sub-problems that have the same structure, then we can use this dynamic programming. And optimal substructure of the problems. So it means that we are dividing it into smaller instances, and the smaller instances were calculated first or done first, and the solution, the optimal solution we are getting for the sub problems, that can give you the optimal solution for the larger problem also. So the optimal solution to the problem contains within optimal solutions to its sub problems. So if we get an optimal solution to a sub problem, so that can be used for the large problem also. And overlapping sub problems. There exist some places where we solve the same sub problem more than once. So we can see this in a particular example for Fibonacci series. So we will see it later. Now what are the steps to design a dynamic programming algorithm? There are 4 steps mainly. The first one is, first we need to identify or characterize the optimal substructure. Then we have to recursively define the value of an optimal solution, and here we are computing the value bottom up, and then if it is needed we can construct an optimal solution. The dynamic programming, it works on a principle of optimality. So what this principle of optimality states: in an optimal sequence of decisions or choices, each subsequences must also be optimal. So we are concentrating only on the smaller instances or the sub problems, where if the optimal solutions we are getting, then the sequence sequence of the next sub problem that comes in sequence must also be optimal. So if we take this Fibonacci series, so here it is we are trying to do it in a top down approach, and here this recursive procedure is actually very slow. If we see the recursion tree, you can see here f of 1 is calculated so many times in the tree, but obviously the value of f of 1 is going to be the same every time we calculate. So this is what the problem in top down approach. Instead if we go for the dynamic programming, this f of 1 can be calculated only once, and it can be stored, this solution can be stored, and it can be remembered, and it can be used wherever it is needed. So here it has to be done in a bottom up fashion. In that way, only 2 values needed to be remembered at any time. So one example of this dynamic programming is this matrix chain multiplication. So if you want to multiply an array of different dimensions, then we can go for this dynamic programming. So how we can do the matrix chain multiplication efficiently using this dynamic programming? So when a chain of matrices is given, the pairs of matrices has to be parenthesized, and the final multiplication will be between 2 parentheses. So if it is a single matrix, then that is fully parenthesized, or the product of 2 fully parenthesized matrix products. So here since the matrix multiplication is associative, any kind of parenthesization we apply will give you the same product. So in this example, if we see here, we have a chain of matrices A, B and C, D, and here this can be parenthesized in 5 distinct ways. You can see here, first C and D can be multiplied, the result is multiplied with B, then the result is multiplied again with A. And here again BC is done first, then the result is multiplied with A and then again with D. Here AB is done separately, CD is done separately, then those two results have been multiplied together. So like this we have 5 distinct ways to parenthesize this chain of matrices. So the way in which this chain is parenthesized has a dramatic impact on the cost of evaluating the product. For example, if you see that when the number of dimensions is more for an array, it will be bringing out a dramatic cost when we do the multiplication. So the parenthesizing is very important here. See here, there are only 3 matrices A, B and C. So since this is associative, either we can do it first do B into C and then multiply with A, or first A into B then multiply with C. But the thing is, when we are doing in this way, so first we are doing it with B and C. So while we are doing it with B and C and then adding with then again multiplying with A, it gives you the 7585 scalar multiplications. Whereas if you are parenthesizing like this, first A into B and then into C, then that will give you 18,000 scalar multiplications. So now in this way we will be able to understand how much impact this parenthesis gives while we are doing it properly or not properly. So how we can optimize this? So we can optimize this using a brute force approach, but here in brute force approach we have to look at, so as the name suggests, or in every algorithm how brute force works, it look at every possible way to parenthesis. So that gives you a running time of omega of 4 power n divided by n power 3 by 2. Whereas in dynamic programming, the time complexity is reduced to theta of n cube, and space complexity is also very much reduced to big O of n square. So while doing this matrix chain multiplication, the 2 main things that has to be taken care is the structure of the optimal parenthesization. So at what point the chain has to be broken, and which are the 2 parentheses that has to be done together. So that is what is needed while we are finding out this optimal parenthesization. And the another one is overlapping subproblems. So while we are overlapping the subproblems, it reduces the running time considerably, because sometimes that same subproblem may be repeatedly coming. So while we are overlapping them, it helps in reducing the running time. So for that, first we need to create a table of minimum cost and a table of S that records the index K for each optimal subproblem. And so this M has to be filled in such a way that the parenthesization problem can be solved in increasing length. So first we have to take a chain of length 1, then we have to take a chain of length 2, 3, and it goes on till n. So at each level it relies on the previous subproblem, or it depends on the previous subproblem. So it always relies on the smaller substrings. So as we are keep on increasing it, every solution for the subproblem will be already available, and that can be used directly. So by this way we can do the matrix chain multiplication efficiently and effectively using dynamic programming paradigm. So this is one example, and we have several other examples like a knapsack problem and other things. So this is just an introduction to dynamic programming paradigm. Thank you.